Good afternoon, everybody. So great to be here. As has been introduced, great introduction, thank you. I head up our change management team here at Google Enterprise. So I'm going to talk to you today about change management, hopefully demystify it a little bit for you. But before we get started, I have a very quick favor to ask you. I'd like to take a photo of you all, looking lovely in the audience today. Okay, so if you don't mind putting on your best smiles for me. Okay, take a few photos. Very good. And now pretend that you're actually really excited about listening to change management. Woohoo! Excellent. Thank you, John, at the back there. Okay, so I wanted to just take a quick photo there because I want to share it with my grandma. I was talking with Granny Dawn on the phone last week. She lives back in New Zealand. And, you know, we had the usual conversation that we have, what's going on with her garden, the dog, and so on. And then she asked me, what am I working on at the moment? And I said, you know, I'm going to do a couple of really big presentations at work next week. She's like, that's nice, dear. What are you going to be talking about? And I told her I was going to be talking to some people about helping them potentially move their employees across from existing IT that they're using to the Google products. So Google products such as Gmail. I thought I'd put it in a context that she'd understand. And you know what she said to me? She said, why do they need your help? I moved over to Gmail myself. I didn't need any help from anybody. So I'm sure these smart business people that you're talking to, they probably don't need your help either. So here's my Granny Dawn here. So in the wise words of Granny Dawn, the products are easy, right? We know that because there's more than 425 million users using the products in the consumer world. We know the products are easy. And you know, just think about how many of your employees, and probably yourselves, are already using our products in their personal lives. So the products are designed to be intuitive, to be useful, and to be straightforward to use. Let me ask you a couple of quick questions before we dive into a little bit more content. So my first question to you is, how many of you believe that there's going to be significant changes in technology within your businesses within the next couple of years? Hoping I'll see quite a few hands raised. Excellent. Okay, very good. So you're in the right place, which is good. Second question I have for you, how many of you believe that your organizations are very good at managing and embedding change into the organization? Good, one, couple. Okay, so there's obviously a little bit of a difference between the number of hands we saw there. And that's what I want to talk to you about. It's becoming increasingly important that organizations are able to really embed change into the culture of the organization. And that is the way that you're going to be able to maintain your competitive advantage and stay ahead of the curve. So change sometimes can be hard, okay? And I want to just take a few minutes to try and, as I said, demystify it for you by showing you a little bit of flavor of what the methodology we use here at Google and we suggest our customers use as they're looking to embed these new ways of working within the organization. So this methodology here has been developed over a number of years, working with many customers, large customers, small customers, and it's appropriate for any type of change within your organization. So it could be used if you're looking to do a large-scale organization, for example, rolling Google Apps out across all of your employees. Likewise, this methodology still holds true if you're looking to deploy 100 Chromebooks within one part of your business. Follow this approach, people will be able to get involved and work in new ways. So let me just give you a tiny bit of a flavor of the type of activities that occur within each of these work streams here, just to give you a bit of a flavor of what it might look like within your company. So the readiness piece is all about setting the project up to be successful. And the number one most critical success factor for any change project ever is that you have strong, active, and visible executive sponsorship. It's the number one most important thing. So if you don't remember anything else from what I tell you today, please try and remember that. So what we mean by that is finding a senior business leader from in your organization who all of the employees can relate to and who look up to, and having them involved in the communications about why the change is happening. Really, really important. If we're talking about a deployment of Google Apps across your whole organization, ideally you'd like the CEO to be that executive sponsor, right? If we're talking about a smaller project, maybe Chromebooks for a certain part of the organization, find who's the leader of that part of the business, so someone from the business, and have them be the executive sponsor. Okay, so the number one most important thing. Second thing that I wanted to touch on just in this readiness phase is about creating a network of champions within your organization. Another quick question, how many of you within your companies use some sort of form of power users or champions with other projects or products? A few hands up, quite a few hands up. Right, so you're familiar with this concept. It's really, really powerful. It reduces the impact on the project team and on help desks, but it also just provides that peer-to-peer support that people need as they're going through change. So that's a really important thing to use within any change project that you're running. Okay, I'll just move on to the communications piece. So obviously, as with any change, you need to let people know exactly what's happening and why it's happening, when it's happening. The first thing we call out and suggest that you do for any change project is create a very strong, compelling vision about how this project connects to the organization's strategy and vision, so that it's very clear for all your employees. They can see this project is helping us reach this goal that we have as a company. Very important to make that connection. Essentially, you're creating the elevator pitch for your project, and that's something that needs to be used throughout all of your communications, using all the channels that are available to you within the organization. Not relying solely on email, because you'll always have people who claim to not have read emails. So thinking creatively, how can we get the message out to people in as many different channels and as many different formats as possible? Using videos, posters, blogs, meetings, presentations. That message needs to get out there to the people. The other thing I just mentioned briefly with regards to communications, and this probably sounds a little bit fluffy, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway because it's important, and that's creating a brand around the project and around the communications. You'll find that if you can create an engaging piece of communications by making it a little bit fun or a little bit different, people will read it. When people read it, they'll pay attention, they'll remember, and they'll be on that journey to working in the new way. So one of the companies we worked with recently, I think did a really nice job with this. They branded the project Destination Google. And they actually created passports, boarding passes, safety briefings, and just packaged their communications up in that way. And that just makes people pay attention, it's engaging. If you can make something fun and interesting, people pay attention. And I think it's really important, particularly in these days when we've got so much information coming at us, do something different, do something fun. The last piece is all about training, making sure that people have the knowledge and ability to work successfully in the new way. So depending on what your project is, you'll do a training needs analysis and make sure people can use the tools and really benefit from the new functionality. All this needs to lead up to a particular date, a go-live date. Make an event of this is the day we start working in the new way, right? And make an event of it. Again, it gets people engaged, and the more you can get people engaged with your project and with the change, the more likely they are to work in those new ways and to not to resist change. So an example of a company who did a great job with that was a big retail customer we worked with, and they did their go-live day on February the 14th. Don't know if anyone in the audience knows the significance of that day. So February the 14th is Valentine's Day, but they did their go-live day on Valentine's Day, and they put little love heart letters on everyone's desk, Google loves you, and just created that as a brand again. And it's amazing, if you can get people to smile and talk about the project in a fun way, the engagement levels and the energy levels are significantly higher and you get adoption, okay? Right, I'll move on to the next piece. I just wanted to touch on a little bit of insight into the psychology of change for you all. Okay, I could talk about this for kind of all day, so I will be that with you. So the phases of change, and probably you can all Recognize people from your company who maybe fit into one of these boxes. Maybe you can even recognize yourself as fitting into one of these 4 boxes. The point here is change is a very personal thing. Okay, we're all going to react differently to it. We all need to go through our own personal journey, but it's important that we expect that. That's normal, right? But we need to, within our organizations and within your organizations, we need to build a culture where you have change navigators, right? So we need to give those people the rewards and recognition for working in this, change-ready way, and we need to give the other members of the teams the support they need to become navigators. So important with all of these changes in technology happening that we enable a change-ready organization. Change is not going to stop. It's not a one-time thing. It's ongoing. So building that competency within your organizational culture is going to be critical for success. So I'm going to finish up with my top tips for success. So active and visible executive sponsorship. For any change project that you're working on, this is really, really important to get right. Find someone senior who's known within the organization who's prepared to say, we're doing this because it's going to help us meet our organizational goals. Create and share that compelling vision. Tie your project to the organizational strategy and the organizational vision. And engage employees with the project as often as you can. If people feel involved in the project, you won't get resistance. Communicate with people, connect with them, head, heart, and feet, rationally, emotionally, behaviorally. Give them the logic behind why they should change, make it personal to them, how they can be involved and why they should care about it being a success, and give them the skills and ability to be successful in the new way. Make sure your organizational structure is designed for success, keep it fun, and develop this organizational culture of change readiness. And just to finish off, I would like to leave you with a quote from a very famous and very wise man, and that is, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but it is the one most adaptable to change. Okay, thank you.